Hello everybody, so I'm going to be adding some animations to this now. I would like to add an open and close animation to this chest that I made so that when I bring it into Blender it'll look real nice and I can make it open, or when I bring it into Unity I can have a animation of this chest opening and closing because I'd like it to store items or whatever. So to do that I just click on the top of my chest here, and what I need to do is correct a problem. This is the origin for this object, and right now the origin point is quite a ways from this hinge here, and if I want to move it without using armatures and stuff, I need this origin to be right where my hinge is. So I'm going to go inside ortho mode, tab, select everything, G to grab it, and I'm going to drag it so that its origin is right there. Okay, and then I'm going to let go, and then I'm going to select everything. And I go back into object mode, press N, and notice my object is at an angle. I want to change that angle to 0, and this needs to be 0 too. This needs to be 0. I just want to get rid of all those rotations because now I'm going to be playing with rotation, and I don't want it to look bad. I don't know how I ended up building this thing backwards, but I did. So it's just what it is. Okay, so to open this thing, now that I got this hinge set to there, I actually don't need to worry about the other items here because they're not going to move. It's just the top of the thing. So now that that origin is set where I want it, I can demonstrate for you how it's going to work when I animate it. So when I animate it, it's going to move on the z-axis. So if I on the x-axis rotation. So I should be able to just click here and just, you see how it opens and closes? Okay, all I got to do now is animate that. Just as simple as adding some keyframes. Set this to 0. So to animate, I want to first just set up my interface a little bit for that. So I want to add a new toolbar, so I click here and drag it up. Now I got a new toolbar. I'm going to keep this one a timeline, and here I'm going to change to a dope sheet. Dope sheets are used for managing keyframes. It's just like a standard thing. I don't know why they're called dope sheets, honestly. It's kind of weird. And I'm going to set my playhead to 0. This green line thing is the playhead, and it says on the little box what frame you're on. So I'm at 0, frame 0. Nothing's on my dope sheet because I haven't inserted any keyframes yet. So what you do is you select the item you want to animate, and then in your scene you do this in object mode, and then you press I on your keyboard, and then you can select location, rotation, or scaling. And I think the idea, the rule of thumb, you only want to keyframe what you need to keyframe. You don't want to keyframe everything if you don't have to. So I'm going to keyframe just rotation, and I'm going to rotate. Or actually, well, you don't rotate it at first because this is the shut position, right? So I'm just going to leave it at 0. And then I'm going to take my playhead, drag it over 10 frames, and then I'm going to press I and then rotation again. Now I have a second keyframe. Now they're both the same, so if I scrub between these, you see no difference. Now we're going to change that. So on 10, rotation X, let's try a value like 20 and see what it looks like. Well, it's creaked open, not quite open enough. Let's try 40. Close. Let's try 50 degrees. That looks good. I like 50 degrees. Okay, so 50 degrees, that's what it's going to be. So I press I again and rotation. And now it's updated, it's saved, and now we have this sweet opening animation. Now, currently, I just have it as a default action, and that's not good. You don't really want to operate that way. So to change this, or to store it in a better way, you use the action editor. So you click here where it says dope sheet, and you click action editor. And then we're going to rename this open. And so now this is called open. It's not, cube action .001 whatever. Okay, so that's great. Now what you're going to do next is click this plus key, it makes a new action, and then we're going to change this to close. And what we want to do is just take this animation and just flip it around, and there's actually a way to do that. So all you need to do is select all these keyframes, and you can S, X, -1. And what this just did is it just mirrored it or across the x-axis. And as awkward as it is, because like right now I'm on a dope sheet, I'm not like in 3D space, you know, Blender lets you manipulate things the same way, so that's really quite nice. So I just flipped those keyframes around from 0 to 10. Now it's the closing, and so now we have open and close. Open goes from 0 to 10, open, and then close, 0 to 10, close. And so what's going to happen is in Unity we'll be able to trigger that open and close action on a key press or a mouse over or something like that. So basically that finishes the animation that I wanted to apply here. Now I've done a little soul searching as far as what I want to do with this, and if I want to add more textures or make it more photorealistic or something like that, but I think this is good enough for a stylized game of, you know, it's good enough for me. One option we can do is in this blend file is we can subdivide our objects. Now, so I'm going to subdivide the top and bottom of the chest, not the lump of gold in the middle, because I think it looks good how it is. I don't really want to change that. Let's just see what a subdivide modifier looks like. So if we add modifier, subdivide surface, yeah, that didn't really do what I wanted it to do. Just makes it look round. So I don't know. Let's try the top. Let's add a modifier to the top here. Yeah, it just makes it look like a potato. So let's not do that. It looks good. So a little low poly model with an animation attached to it. It's something you could use in a game. So I hope this was useful. I'm going to post this blend file on Canvas with these videos. And if you want to follow it and you want to go ahead and follow the steps and make your own, or you could just use my asset in a game, it'll show up probably in a Unity tutorial at some point. So thank you very much. That's it for the Treasure Chest series. Bye-bye.